Hello, I'm Timothy, and welcome to Novel Summary. Today we are reading through Moby Dick, written by Herman Melville and first published in October 1851. This is a story about obsession, the sea, and the slippery nature of truth and fate. It begins with one of the most famous lines in literature, "Call me Ishmael." Ishmael is our narrator, a contemplative wanderer who decides to go on a whaling voyage to soothe a restless spirit. He travels to New Bedford, Massachusetts, and from there to Nantucket, where he plans to find work on a whaling ship. At an inn in New Bedford, he meets a harpooner named Pequod, a tattooed South Sea Islander with strange habits but a generous heart. Despite their differences, they quickly become friends and agree to ship out together. The two eventually sign on with the Pequod, a whaling ship known for its efficiency and ruthlessness. The ship is owned by two Quaker businessmen, Peleg and Bildad, who are concerned not only with money but with morality, in their own strict religious way. But it's not Peleg or Bildad who will command the ship. That role belongs to the mysterious and formidable Captain Ahab. When Ishmael and Pequod first board the Pequod, Ahab is nowhere to be seen. He remains in his cabin, reclusive and silent. The crew speaks of him in hushed tones. They mention a great white whale named Moby Dick, a creature of immense size and power who once took Ahab's leg. Ahab now wears a peg leg carved from whalebone. It's clear from the beginning that Ahab's injury has consumed him. The voyage isn't just about hunting whales for profit. It's about revenge. Ahab finally appears on deck and his presence is commanding. He announces to the crew that their mission isn't merely whaling, it's to hunt and kill Moby Dick. He nails a gold doubloon to the mast, promising it to the first man who spots the white whale. Most of the crew, stirred by Ahab's fervour and charisma, are swept up in his obsession. Only Starbuck, the first mate, openly questions Ahab's motives. Starbuck is a devout Quaker, rational and cautious. He believes in duty, not vengeance. But even he is eventually swept along by Ahab's iron will. The voyage unfolds slowly, filled with digressions and reflections from Ishmael. He muses on the history of whaling, the anatomy of whales, the nature of life and death. Melville uses these moments to explore themes of knowledge, religion, and humanity's place in the universe. These sections might seem like detours, but they serve to deepen the atmosphere, to draw us into the rhythms of life at sea. The crew of the Pequod is as diverse as it is symbolic. Starbuck represents reason and restraint. Stubb, the second mate, is carefree and laughs in the face of danger. Flask, the third mate, is short, tough, and eager to fight whales. Then there are the harpooners, Queequeg, the noble savage, Tashtego, the Native American, and Daegu, the towering African. Together they form a microcosm of the world, united in labour, divided in background. As the Pequod sails the oceans, it encounters other ships, each with its own tale. These meetings, known as gams, offer glimpses into alternate fates and philosophies. Some ships have suffered terrible losses to Moby Dick. Others have encountered omens and strange events. Through these stories, the myth of Moby Dick grows. He becomes more than just a whale. He is a symbol of nature's mystery and power, of fate and the limits of human understanding. One of the key encounters is with the ship Rachel, which has lost a boat and a boy, Ahab's own godson, in pursuit of Moby Dick. The Rachel begs for help, but Ahab refuses. His obsession blinds him to human compassion. He will not be deterred. As the voyage progresses, the Pequod's journey becomes increasingly surreal. The crew sees strange sights, a whale with a harpoon in its side from decades ago, a creature with a face like a man, a typhoon that electrifies the ship. These visions blur the line between reality and dream. Ahab begins speaking in riddles and poetic monologues. He nails his gold coin to the mast again and again. He rages against the heavens and fate. He is no longer a man. He is a force of nature, a prophet of doom. Starbuck tries to stop him. In one powerful scene, Starbuck enters Ahab's cabin while he sleeps and considers killing him to save the crew. But he can't do it. His morality, his faith won't allow it. He walks away and the ship sails on toward destruction. Finally, they spot Moby Dick. The white whale rises from the sea like a god or a demon, huge and terrible. Ahab orders the boats lowered. For 3 days they chase the whale. The battles are fierce and chaotic. Moby Dick smashes the boats, wounds the men, and dives deep. But Ahab will not stop. On the 3rd day, Ahab manages to stab the whale with his harpoon, crying out in rage and triumph. But Moby Dick turns and smashes the Pequod. The ship begins to sink. Ahab is caught in the harpoon line and dragged into the sea. He dies with the whale still bound to it, both literally and symbolically. The Pequod goes down. The entire crew is lost, except for one. Ishmael survives by clinging to Queequeg's coffin, which had been repurposed as a lifebuoy earlier in the voyage. He floats alone in the vast ocean until he is rescued by the Rachel, the very ship Ahab had refused to help. The novel ends not with triumph, but with silence. Ishmael, the lone survivor, is left to tell the tale. The sea has taken everything, leaving behind only memory and myth. Moby Dick is a novel of many layers. On the surface, it's an adventure story about a man chasing a whale. But beneath that, it's a meditation on madness, obsession, and the limits of human knowledge. Ahab seeks to strike through the mask of the world, to confront the ultimate truth behind appearances. But in doing so, he destroys himself and everyone around him. The whale, Moby Dick, represents many things: nature, fate, God, the unknowable. He is terrifying because he cannot be understood or controlled. He is the universe staring back at us, blank and indifferent. Thank you for listening to Novel Summary. I'm Timothy, and I'll see you next time.